What's up, guys, and welcome to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. Today we're going to be doing the top 10 characters to Zeta as of March 2019. I used to do a top 10 Zetas. What happened is I'd put like Revan on the list and I'd include all three of his Zetas, and that would count only towards one Zeta on the list. So I have the top 10 characters plus 5 honorable mention characters. And there's 2 I kept off the list that I really struggled with, actually 3. So for those of you that are hardcore on those characters, don't hate me, please. Of course, this is opinionated. I'm also going to be doing a top 10 Zeta character Zeta video on some more free-to-play players, some more accessible players for early game, mid game, or players that don't spend as much money or just aren't as progressed as some of the whales in the game. So I will be doing that as well. Without further ado, let's get to it. And of course, the first character is Jedi Knight Revan. This is a no-brainer. He has 3 Zetas: Direct Focus, General, and Hero. And all 3 of them are extremely important. If you're not going to be able to compete in mere matches in Arena if you do not have all 3 of these Zeta. Most people Zeta Direct Focus last. That's just the way it is. That is crucial to have Zeta to be able to compete in Arena. But not only that, he's dominant in all aspects of the game. Grand Arena, Territory Wars, and Raids, especially Phase 2 of the Heroic Sith Raid, and other raids as well. So of course he is the #1 character in the game to Zeta. These are in no particular order necessarily. It all depends on where you're at in the game, but definitely Revan, Direct Focus, General, and Hero. I'm not going to read through all of the abilities through all of these characters because that would take ages, especially with Revan. We're just going to go through the characters. Next, of course, is Trai, and her Zeta abilities are Compassion is Weakness, her leadership ability, and Lord of Betrayal. In my opinion, the most important one to Zeta first is Lord of Betrayal. Some people do Compassion is Weakness first. I find that it's Lord of Betrayal. I may be wrong. Of course, she's very hard to acquire because you have to be able to complete the Heroic Sith Raid, and your guild has to be powerful enough. As you can see, I only have her at 6 stars, but she's getting closer to getting to 7 stars. So she is definitely #2 on the list, in my humble opinion. And next, we will go to Bosque. Is he like 3rd in line, most important? No. But he's a character that, if you want to be successful in all aspects of the game, Territory Wars, Grand Arena, not as much in raids, but you're going to need a good bounty hunter team. And in my opinion, the best bounty hunter leadership ability is Bosque's. Some argue that it's Jango's. I just don't find it that way. Especially for somebody that we're going to see in the honorable mention list. In order to unlock him, you need to use bounty hunters. And you're able to, I'm gonna give you a hint here. It's Chewie. And most people did it with Bosque as the leader, I think. Of course, you can do it with other leaders. I just find it's easier with Bosque. And all that extra protection and health regeneration, and it makes him even better as a tank. I think Bosque is on the top 10 character to Zeta list. If you disagree with me or agree with me in any way, leave comments in the comment section below. Next is Jolee. Why Jolee? Well, because he completely completes the Jedi Knight Revan team that's dominating Arena right now, that hopefully will kind of lose a foothold when a new character comes out sometime this month. That's why you should be farming Karth, Juhani, Candrass, Darkside Bastila, of course. His That Looks Pretty Bad ability is amazing because it can revive all fallen Jedis and grant critical hit immunity. This is nuts, and what's great about it, especially in Grand Arena or in Territory Wars, if you're breaking up teams, in 3v3 in Grand Arena, you can put Jolee on a certain team. I do it with Revan and Grandmaster Yoda, and then you can still have a Bastila team with Ezra and General Kenobi. You can have 2 Jedi teams in Territory Wars as well, and the ability to revive Jedi is just incredible. So that ability, That Looks Pretty Bad, is definitely an ability you should consider, and that's why he is part of the top 10 characters. Next, it's Grandmaster Yoda, again, because his versatility with different Jedi lineups, and it's his battle meditation. This is by far the most important one on him. His leadership ability is not important because the 2 best Jedi leaders in the game are also on this list with Revan and Bastila. Just, he's able to spread foresight, can't be hit with foresight, and the ability already spreads all buffs on him to everybody else, but then when he gets that extra foresight, it's just an amazing ability, and it completes that Jedi team as well. For those of you that have the Revan, you got him the first time or second time around, obviously you know that he is a crucial part of that team, and that's why he is on the list. Next is JTR, again, one of the meta-defining characters in the game. She's most useful on offense in Territory War and Grand Arena, and definitely in the raids, especially Phase 1 Heroic Sith Raid. She can do tank raid, she can do any raid, let's just put it that way. Her leadership ability is the most important by far because it's what allows the exposed to continue to take away turn meter from the enemy. Virtues, Protector, and Insight, I don't have Zetas, but they are not bad Zetas. Do not think that at all. I was just prioritizing things a little differently. So if you have this character, definitely consider Zetaing her, but Zeta Inspirational Presence first, because we're actually going to talk about another character that really needs to go along with her later. All of these abilities are excellent, so consider doing that. That's why she is on the list. Next, it is CLS, and he has 3 abilities to Zeta. His leadership ability, his first unique ability, and his second unique ability. The most important is by far it binds all things, okay? Because it's a leadership ability that doesn't require him to be in the leadership slot. He's able to gain a bunch, or give the team a bunch of turn meter when anybody can do that. That's amazing. Now, with 3PO, Chewie, Han, R2, his leadership ability has become much more important if you're running him in certain aspects. So if you want to throw that Zeta on him, in my opinion, put the leadership Zeta on him next. That's going to help you out tremendously, and then Learn Control would probably be third. So it binds all things first, Rebel Maneuvers, Learn Control. Definitely a top 10 character as well. Next, let's talk about R2-D2. I love R2-D2. Some wouldn't include him on this list, but both of these Zetas are extremely important, especially if we're talking Phase 1 in the Heroic Sith Raid for the guilds are still trying to complete it, and other aspects of the game. His number crunch allows you to spread 10% of most of his statistics, most of them, not all of them, to the other Rebel, Droid, Resistance, allies, Galactic Republic allies on the field. Whenever you can spread statistics, it's going to make them stronger. That's why I'm on him with offense. I've made videos on that. And then his combat analysis allows any light side character that scores a critical hit to be passively cleansed. They lose all of their debuffs. That's amazing. He's going to be part of the meta for who knows how long because of these abilities, and he's definitely on the list because of that. He's probably one of them that people will argue with me with, but definitely I think he's, in my opinion, on the list. Next, let's go with the old faithful Raid Han. Man, he has one Zeta, it shoots first, and you definitely should Zeta it. His ability to not only attack once with this ability, but he attacks twice, dealing 50% less damage the second time, and he can just tear through people. It is so fun to use him with the CLS and Chewie team, especially if you throw R2 in there to get all the extra offense from him, and 3PO, of course, 3PO. If you want to do that, I usually run L3 instead when I'm running this team, but they can just tear right through people. The offense that comes out of this team is so amazing and so much fun to use. That's why he's still on this list and has been for a while. Now, my 10th character is some that will probably be controversial to some of you, but I find him important because these characters are important in all aspects of the game, and that is Hermit Yoda. A few of the honorable mention characters I'm going to add, you could say, well, you could replace 10 with them, but his strength flows through the Force ability, guys, is amazing because they're gaining protection up, but you're also giving foresight. He's a healer the way it is. He doesn't have any attacks. His Master's Training ability makes people so much better. It's amazing. And then when you add the foresight and the extra protection regeneration, when you use strength flows through the Force, especially in Phase 2, actually, let's just put it this way. In any raid, especially in Phase 2 of the Heroic Sith Raid, he can completely make the team dominant. I love to use him with Ezra and Grandmaster Yoda. You get a bunch extra offense going, and that's why he is on this list for me. Now we will go to the honorable mention characters, and we're going to start with number 1, which is Chewbacca. The most important, in my opinion, is his Loyal Friend ability. Of course, you can Zeta both, as you can with Grandmaster Yoda. I just find his Loyal Friend ability the most important. When Chewbacca deals damage to an enemy, Chewbacca and all guarded allies recover 3% health and 3% protection. This really helped get through Trai with the CLS team, because whenever you're countering or somebody's attacking out of turn, they're going to be taking damage based upon their max health percentage. And here, you're able to regain that back when Chewbacca deals damage, and he's going to be dealing a lot of damage because you're usually running him with Raid Han unless you have him in a Revan lineup alone. So Han's going to be attacking, and then the weakest ally is going to be attacking, which is CLS most of the time if you use him. So then he's going to be attacking. When those two attack, he's going to be regaining health, regaining protection, and a lot is going to be happening. His Raging Wookiee, I don't think it's as important. Somebody do it. He's immune to ability block and cooldown increased. A Loyal Friend, you should definitely Zeta first. And he is a great character and really fun to use, and why you need Bosque too, by the way. Next, we're going to talk about Bastila. Easily somebody that could have made the top 10 list, and most people will probably argue that she should. The reason she is in the honorable mention is because Jedi Knight Revan is still better, but in Grand Arena and Territory War, when you should or do split teams up, Jedi teams up, her leadership ability is amazing. When they gain a whole bunch of protection. They're so much harder to kill, all the Jedi allies. Plus they gain so much tenacity that they really can't have any debuffs landed on them. So they're tanks. Every character is a tank that can't be landed a debuff on, and they can really start wiping you clean. She actually probably is one of the best Zetas in the game still, but I decided to keep Revan on the list and put Bastila in honorable mention because Revan should be the first priority. If you disagree with me on this, let me know. Leave it in the comment section below. So we have Chewie and Bastila so far on the honorable mention. Next is Darth Sion. Why Darth Sion? Because he's really... This ability makes him so much better, and usually when you run a triumvirate team, whether it's 3v3 in Grand Arena or Territory War, the Lord of Pain ability is huge, because at the end of each turn, Sion inflicts pain for 3 turns on enemies who damaged him that turn. Now, when he inflicts pain and he gets enough pain inflicted, he's able to get held by hatred. When he gets held by hatred, we know what happens. He, becomes so much stronger, and he can die and be revived. That makes him unbelievable. And some people think in 3v3, well, it's not important because the battles don't last as long. I'm telling you that I've had so many battles where I've gotten my Sion to held by hatred, and he single-handedly helps win the match. So the Lord of Pain, being able to spread that pain to more enemies and keep them on there longer is so important, because once you get to held by hatred, the match is very close to over, in my opinion. That's why he is on this list, because it's really hard to run him with the Trai team if you don't have him Zeta. They're not nearly as good, and the Trai team being the second best team in the game, in my opinion, behind Jedi Knight Revan. Next, a character I really didn't want to put on the list because I just don't use First Order and I don't think they're very good, but Kylo Ren Unmasked. They're used so much in Territory Wars and Grand Arena that you have to put him on the list. His Merciless Pursuit leadership ability is the most important, then you can put Scarred next. But his leadership ability, extra critical damage, okay? Extra speed, extra turn meter gain, some extra protection, especially on him. He's amazing. He really takes First Order to the next level. I still don't think they're very good. I hope they become better when the new movie comes out later this year, and I hope that's much better than The Last Jedi as well. But Kylo Ren Unmasked, definitely a character you should Zeta, especially if you want to help your team and guild in Territory Wars and be good in Grand Arena. Consider doing this. And he's on the list because when I did not put Kylo Ren Unmasked on the list, I got death threats, I think, from a few people, and I really didn't like that. So he's on the list. I've never got a death threat for not putting BB-8 on the list. But BB-8 is on the honorable mention list because he goes so well with Jedi Training Rey, or Rey Jedi Training, as she's technically, I think, pronounced in the game. We all call her JTR. His Roll with the Punches ability. If you're looking on dominating Phase 1 of the Heroic Sith Raid, you need JTR's leadership ability, both of R2's abilities, Zeta, most importantly probably combat analysis because they cleanse, and then Roll with the Punches. Because when he attacks out a turn, which is going to be happening a lot, especially if you run him with a 3PO in there where he can call somebody to assist, JTR has an ability that calls somebody to assist. He's going to attack. He's going to call somebody else to attack. The damage racks up over time. It's a very, very necessary Zeta. Self-preservation is important as well, not as important with Roll with the Punches, but the extra protection gain that's going to be happening here, and all droid allies are going to be regaining health and protection with that ability. So Roll with the Punches, most important, definitely going to dominate with JTR teams. Again, I find them way more useful on offense in Grand Arena and Territory War. They don't do well on defense. They just don't. Take my word for it. You probably know that as well already. So that's the top 5 honorable mention: Chewie, Bastila, Sion, Kylo Ren Unmasked, and BB-8. A few characters that didn't make the list that I know people are going to be on me about. Wampa, very close to being on the list. Emperor Palpatine, very close to being on the list. Man, I really fought with Palpatine not being on there. And then Nest, 3 characters that could be on there. 3PO probably as well. So you have to narrow it down to 15, and it's so hard. I did what I found the most important characters in the game for me, how I run the game. It may be different for you. I understand that. This is, of course, my humble opinion. It's based on my experiences, and these are the top 10 plus 5 honorable mention characters to Zeta in the game. Like I said, be prepared because I will be doing top 10 Zeta characters to Zeta in the game on some easier to obtain characters. I waited to do a top 10 Zeta video like this until after the droids came out because we didn't know how dominant they were actually going to be. And I've done a few videos like this before, and I've done a few free-to-play Zeta videos, but I'm going to do it again because they're so important. Like Chief Chirpa's probably going to be on that list as well. General Veers, they're very important Zetas. Barris, but I will have that list coming at a different time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please smash the subscribe button, like the video, click the notification bell so you can be alerted to all videos I post. Also, I'm leaving a link to my Discord server and Patreon page in the description below. Make sure you check that out and leave comments in the comment section. Not only do I want to see if you agree or disagree with me, respectfully, I also want video ideas. Every idea you guys give me in here, I usually turn into a video, most of the time if I'm capable of doing it. Of course, I don't have a test account, so I can't test some of these things like you want, but I'm able to keep the content coming and help you guys out with the ideas you give me in the comment section below. So please do that. Otherwise, again, I hope you enjoyed the video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.